Our focus is on transforming Nigeria through agriculture. We know a lot of talk has been going on as regards diversifying Nigeria's economy away from oil and to agriculture, which used to be the mainstay of the economy. And joining me on the program to discuss this is a farmer. He's the managing director of Admiral Environmental Care, Shadrach Madleon. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. And also I have an agricultural economist from FNAB, that's Professor Bola Okuneye. Thank you so much, Professor, for stopping by today.
Right, thank you. Good morning.
We listened to, that soundbite and the minister talking about what agriculture is going to look like from here on. What's your assessment of the agricultural transformation agenda?
We must give it to this this dispensation. We must give it to the president on the attention given to agriculture. Nations have done without oil, but I have not seen any nation that have done without food. The body languages, the enthusiastic feelings of the Honorable Minister is fantastic. He has bringing to the fore that the need for agricultural transformation programs, attentions, and all that. We might differ on the strategy applications, and this is where I see us not getting it correctly.
Professor, do you agree with him?
Yes, to some extent I do. Basically, if you look at since the point of independence in 1960 to about 1966, we use agriculture as the corner piece, and other programs then surround the development of agriculture. If you look at the Western region then, cocoa development, palm oil development, Eastern region, vis-a-vis the Northern region in terms of coconut and that's of groundnut production and all whatnot. But it's now that we are going back to it, because during the military era, we sort of let go of agriculture because of the so-called oil boom. It's now that we are revisiting it and making agriculture as a business. If this type of policy should really continue for the next 2, 3, 5 years, then we say that yes, we are into agricultural transformation, we are into agricultural development. Right. But there are still so many things to be done. And I think during the course of this discussion we will discuss them. But the salient point would be that, one, how are we really developing the rural areas? Are we considering so much on development of urban areas? And that's the basic problem that agricultural economists really have about some states that are considering the development of the urban areas, thereby enhancing rural-urban migration, thereby making the rural laborers now to move to urban areas, to be carrying pounds, to be carrying the concrete and all those things. And that will have a negative effect on the development of agriculture.
All right, so Shadrach, where do you're a farmer, that's what you do, crop farming and the rest of it. So where do you do this, in the urban area, in the rural area?
I have a one-stop shop agricultural center at the center of the city, using a 100 by 50 to showcase all aspects of agriculture. Putting up what the ADP were doing, but I'm now doing it as business. I'm providing support services for farmers. And this is what I'm doing at the center of the city.
Now, the reason why I asked you that question, Shadrach, is because what the professor was saying is that we see a lot of migration to the urban area to practice farming, when we should be concentrating more on developing it from the rural area.
As I speak with you, before independence or post-independence, when a man gets back home, you are expected to come back home with some penifernarias. Palm oil will be given to you on a Lucozade bottle. You have some tubers of yam that comes with it here. If you are coming in from Benue, you are coming in from Anambra, you probably will be coming in with dry bitter leaves that your mother might have dried for you and all that here. Coconut also accompanies it and all that, and then with some pears. Now, as we also coming in here, there are maybe 1 or 2 cups of ogbono that comes with it here. As I speak with you, those things are now history. you do not have the young people that will go down to prune down the...
Because everybody has migrated to the city.
Now, what it takes you, I said today that it stops you, a young man has to, the man from Benue State have to stop over now in Kefi to buy yam when he's going back home. There are no longer the young man here to make the heap of the yam. It's tedious. It's a tedious job to do. If you are 30 years and you do yam heap for 2 years, you look like a 60 years old man. Now, while I differ in the policy in agriculture, in getting youth, if you don't have sensational handover on replacing the aging farmers with young people, with the man that has tested BlackBerry, carry iPad, and all that.
Shadrach,
yes.
You're a farmer.
Yes,
you
correct.
are here in the city.
Yes, correct.
The professor said the problem we have is that we have all these young people that you're trying to mention who are supposed to be helping us to do the yam heaps and harvesting the ogbono and the rest of it.
Yes.
All of them have migrated to the city.
Yes.
What can we do to have them to migrate back to the rural areas?
You need to get them back to the rural communities in the place there, but not to take them in that place there with the attention of asking them to go and suffer. Okay. You cannot be in a shade and ask me to stay in the sun to provide food for you. What we're saying is that technology, applications, and time has changed. That when you are talking about agriculture today, you should blend with what we have today. The essence of BlackBerry that you have today here, you can use BlackBerry to do commodity marketing here.
Can I chip in a point?
Please.
The point I want to chip in is this. I'm not totally against urban development, but I'm saying that rural development should go pari passu. That is, have some feeder roads, have some markets, have some improved housing facilities in the rural areas. Encourage and empower the various youths and the existing farmers in terms of how to increase their level of productivity.
Professor, what I'm trying to get Shadrach to explain to us is he's a farmer, he's here in the city.
Right.
What would make him go back to the village?
Excellent.
And he's not the only farmer that has done this. We have other farmers as well, young farmers like him, who have left the rural areas, the villages, to come to the city to practice agriculture.
Yes.
And I'm sure as we're going, well, Shadrach seems to be very passionate about that. And Shadrach, you know, it's all in the interest of national development.
Yes. There are over 47,000 youths that I know of in Kaduna that hasn't got anything doing. Now, the Nigerian prisons, as we have it today, still buys food here. If you are given a contract to supply beans in Nigerian prisons, your life is changed. Comfort will become your calling. Over 87,000 metric tons of beans is consumed within the Nigerian prisons across the north. That is potential for a young man to provide food for them in the place. But to answer your question now is that if you want me to stay back home in a rural community where there are no electricity, where I need to go and search water in the stream, where my only means of transport for me to see civilization is only on market days, if I'm in the east, I'm doing Afo or Nkwo or Orie in the place, I won't be there. But what I am saying is that nucleus estate initiative is possible. That you can have a cluster of young people where you have provided them those things just because of ice block. The man who left us Moton and came to town and drank cold water find it difficult to go back to that village anymore. So why will he stay at home and drink water from the clay pot, and then somebody else in this same village is drinking cold water? Okay. That alone has changed